Back to the channel. We're gonna fix the Audi today.
Yes.
Yeah. Finally, we're back on with the Audi A6 rebuild. On the first video, I showed you the new car, which is this 2016 Audi A6 with only 39,000 miles. As you can see, it's pretty squashed on the front, and all the airbags have gone off inside apart from the seats. The A6 was also a non-runner, but we got it running by changing this pyro fuse. Fingers crossed, guys. 3, 2, 1. And we've got a runner. Here's a clip from the second video. We stripped the whole front end down, see what parts we need, and see if there's any structural damage. Which we confirm there is no structural damage. Yes, this is a category M, but cars can be categorised incorrectly. I then had the guys from UK Motorglass come down to fit a new windscreen on the Audi A6. It's nice to support a family-run business. Hate to say it, but this is the cheapest C7.5 facelift Audi A6 in the UK, obviously because it's crash damage. But after battling with Copart, because obviously I wanted 3,100, it hit the reserve. They wanted 6, 5.5, then 5. They finally let me have it for my winning bid. I'm also still doing that competition for one of you lucky subscribers to win some brand new Halfords Advanced tools. So that's a 100-piece Halfords Advanced tool set and a Halfords Advanced screwdriver set. They're both going to be brand spanking new, both with lifetime warranty for yourself. This is just to say thank you to all you subscribers who are subscribed, who watches the content regularly when I do post. I know I'm trying to get better now, 2025, and you know, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. So the competition, basically the question is, how much is the total build price of the Audi A6? So that's everything all in one, the purchase price, the parts, the paint, not labour. This channel's free for labour. But yeah, all you've got to do is just leave your comment for your answer on one of the Audi A6 videos. You need to be a subscriber, and it's only one entry per person. I'm going to do the draw on the final video, during the video, and for example, if this is not the answer, but I'm just saying, if it was £7,000 was the correct answer, that's how much it's cost me, and 5 people said £7,000, I'll then use some sort of, obviously it won't be Google number generator because it's not numbers, but I think there's a way to put YouTube names. So those 5 people's names I'll put on that generator, and then it will choose the winning person from that. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, guys, subscribe and get in this competition for some free tools. Also forgot to say one thing, this competition is for UK residents only. For the people that are watching who lives in different countries, I do apologise, but I just want to wish you all good luck on the competition. Just a heads up before we get on to today's video, guys, this is going to be a long, in-depth video. So obviously I vlog rebuilding these cars from start to finish. I don't hide anything. I show as much as I can, so it's not repetitive as well. But on some videos, for example, dashboard swaps, I'll have a look at the particular car I'm doing, see if there's any videos on YouTube already. For example, some might not be English, or some there might not be, how can I explain, not that much footage at all. So that's why I normally do, on a dashboard swap video, I normally do like a how-to, but vlogging the rebuild at the same time, not just for content, to also help someone out in the future who's going to do a dashboard swap on one of these particular cars. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I am doing the airbag kit for the Audi A6. So that's the complete dashboard, steering wheel airbag, curtain airbags, both front seat belts. I'll clear the crash data today's video. Also, if you are watching this video just to learn how to do the dashboard kit on an Audi A6, C7, C7.5, Audi A7 is exactly the same. Hopefully this video helps you guys, as I still get regular comments on older videos like Skoda Fabia and the Volkswagen Up dashboard kit. That's like 2-3-year-old videos. I'm still getting regular comments saying thank you for that video. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let's get cracking on. Here's the replacement dashboard. So I got this as a complete kit. This has come from the Airbag store. I've used them a handful of times now, guys, and literally every time, brilliant prices, great service, and really fast delivery. It's been pretty much like next day delivery. Main thing, this is the reason I've used this company more and more now, is because the quality of their parts. There's not a mark on this dashboard, no dents or scratches, because in storage they can easily get marked. And same like the steering wheel airbag. On the Audis, they are known for the chrome ring to get scratched up, same as the Audi logo, but not a mark on it. And it comes with the airbag harness. But yeah, I've got the 2 front seat belts. The rears don't deploy on this car. The curtain airbags. It did come with the SRS module, but I said don't worry guys, because I can reset this one myself, which I'll show you later on in the video. Yeah, so if you need a dashboard kit, always give the airbag store a ring. They've also got a website and an eBay store. I'll only recommend good companies on this channel, and literally, honestly, that is a brilliant company to deal with. So what I need to remove from the back of the center console is all this piece just here. So I'll start off by removing this air vent first. There's 4 spring clips holding this on. Basically where they're fitted, you've got one around about here, one there, and the same the opposite side. So what you want to do, you want to get a pry tool just in this little gap just here. I go in the middle. Once you get it released, on this side you probably just see it pop. You haven't got to do this side, because you will be able to just pull it like I've just done now, tilt it upside down, and you've got literally one plug just here. And then what I need to do then, there's 2 8mm bolts, one just here and one just here. Once I remove them, I can then pull this unit out. So there is 2 metal spring clips at the bottom in this area. So once you remove that, this will then slowly pull towards you. Just get a pry tool on the edge down here either side, and this will come off. There is a few plugs, but I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to start undoing these. So that's both screws now out. As I was saying, this will then pull towards you, and just get a pry tool literally just down. You'll be able to feel where you need to use the pry tool. There's a gap in between the back piece and this part of the center console. That one come off with it. Pull that towards you and you can see a load of wires. So you don't need to remove all of these. So the brown, red and grey, you don't need to touch them. You got one plug just here, which is the rear climate control, and that plug just here. So these ones stay in place. Now that back piece is removed, you've then got 2 8mm bolts just here. You've also got this plastic piece just here, which you can probably see these prongs. Hopefully you can see them on camera, what I'm trying to show you. Just carefully pull this down. There's nothing else holding this on. And then there's literally 2 plugs, one either side, that you literally just need to undo. So I'm just going to do that now. So now I've got this vent out and both of the plugs are undone. I can now show you the remaining bolts, or nuts shall I say. You've got 2 13mm nuts, one either side of each other, and there is 2 literally at the beginning, both sides. I don't think I'm going to have to remove these 2 8mm bolts looking at this frame. Basically that's for the sides that screw into the center console frame, so I'll let you know further into it if I do need to remove them, but from what I can see at the minute I don't need to. And then the wiring harness, as you can see, you've got harness both sides. They're just held in by those trim, like a fir tree trim clip that you just pull out. You're going to need to pull this one out and this side, because when you do lift up the center console, obviously these are still going to be attached. So I'm just going to get these 13mm nuts removed and then we'll go on to the front. Because there's not a lot of space in this area, I'm just using a 1/4" ratchet with a long reach 13mm socket. Just before I get on to the actual main bits, what you need to remove off the center console on the front, I've just lifted up the armrest, and some of these A6s, well this A6, the A7s, RS6, S6, you get what I'm trying to say. They are the same platform, so all the interiors are the same, but some of them have USB slots and an aux cable, or some have basically this is an Audi MMI plug. So what I had to do, basically I had this plastic cover on top of this, that plugs into it. I had to pull this towards myself, that then come off, but this plug was still fitted into this. So how you remove it, that's normally closed shut. You literally open this little cage up. I got a little pick, so if you see just here, when that's still in there, there was room for me to get round about just here. Press that in, then that pulled out, because you need to poke this cable through this hole just here. Because when you lift up the center console, obviously if you don't, that's going to prevent you from removing the centre console. Now on to the front of the centre console. So some of the bits I will be removing, like the climate control, that will then make a start to removing the dashboard. So just to give you a heads up. So before I even remove any of this, I'm going to start with the climate control unit. Literally pry tool either side, there is no screws. Just be careful, literally just a little pry. As you can see, that pops out. Same again this side. And then literally push this forward, then that releases. You've got 3 plugs to undo, so I'm just going to undo them now. Got to pull the red piece out again, then that will release that. Can't get these mixed up, as you can see. You've got one big black plug, a brown or a beige, and then a little black one, so you can't get them mixed up. That's removed. Next thing, obviously this is a manual car, automatic will be pretty much the same. If you feel in this area of the gear gaiter, you'll feel that there is some little plastic clips, literally one per corner on the edge. Same again here. Basically what I'm doing, I'm holding it but pushing it forward at the same time. That's then released. It's up to you. There's 2 ways going around this. You can either use a pry tool around the edges, but obviously these are metal trims, or what I tend to like to do on all the Audis is use my hands. If you put them underneath, you will be able to feel, if you've done this before, you will feel a little bit of pressure pulling, but it's not too much pressure, if you get what I'm trying to say. There's no funny creaky noises. Once those 3 plugs are undone, literally I'm just going to lift that gear gaiter, just slowly put it through, and that's removed. So you've got 3 plugs on this underneath. You've got one for the start button, you've got the red one just here which plugs into this one, and there's a black one that's not very long. So what I'd personally do first, if you're going to do this very first one on the driver's side first. So obviously this is a UK car. I don't know if left-hand drive cars are the same harness. I would have thought so. But yeah, do that one first, then get these 2 done. Because obviously, because that cable's short, it doesn't give you much leeway. So if you do that one, as you can see how long they are, you can at least get this up to get to the ones underneath. Once that's done, I have then got some 8mm bolts just here. I'll show my torch. One either side. There's probably a couple more underneath. You've got 2 just here for, well, do you call it an ashtray these days? Or a cubby hole? So I'm going to remove these 2 first. Get this unit out. I've just now removed all the bolts and nuts, what you need to remove. So you've got 2 10mm nuts that are situated here. You've got 2 8mm bolts, one that goes here and one the same this side. Put the gear stick forward, lift this up. You've got 1 plug that sits just here, what you need to undo. So once you've removed all those nuts and bolts that I just showed you at the front, you've removed the 4 13mm nuts at the back. It might still feel that there's tolerance, like as if there's still some bolts or nuts holding this down. No. So what you need to do then, put your hand underneath the back. You've got this aluminium frame. Lift the back up and then pull backwards. And just be careful with all the wires. Just make sure they go through. Hopefully you can see this, guys. It is. I'm not really used this GoPro much, so I'm trying my best to get some better camera angles. And then this will just lift out the car. It's not too bad at all to do. Now the centre console's now removed. If you was doing an airbag kit yourself, guys, on this particular car, A6 or A7, and you wanted to replace your SRS module because you didn't have the diagnostics to clear the fault codes, the SRS module is, see this yellow plug just here? It's this unit just here. So literally you do have to remove the centre console to get to it. You just have to lift up this air vent and then you'll be able to get to the, I think there'll be a few nuts holding it down, but yeah, that's where the SRS module is on this particular car. Now on to the steering wheel airbag. So this is literally the steering wheel set bang in the middle. What you want to do, you want to turn it like that, because basically you need to get to a spring clip at the back. There's one here and one there. So once you've done this side, I'm going to do it on the front camera. I'll show you how to do it. Once this side's unclipped, turn the steering wheel all the way around, and then you can do this side. Right, so if you can see, it's not that ball part. What you need to do, I'm using a pick, but it's not the longest a pick. So if I get in there, if I can get onto it, if you see that metal rod just there where my pick is, you need to get on top of it and press down. Pick and longest. Now my light just went down. There we go. So that's now just released this side. Now I'm going to turn the steering wheel around and do the opposite side. With them two both released, then just slowly pull this airbag towards yourself. Don't just yank it out, because obviously you do have two wires. That's the airbag plug, which I'll just use that pick again. Just to, bear me a second. Pull the centre out towards you. Only come out so much. That's enough. Then that will pull out. And you've got one black plug just here, which I'll do. I won't be able to do that one-handed. I'll go back onto the GoPro now. So now onto the steering wheel bolt. That is an M12 multi-spline. I have already slackened this off camera. So I've put the steering wheel basically into the centre. My wheels are straight, because basically then I'm going to be, once I've got the steering wheel removed, I'm then going to put just some masking tape on the squib. So this part just here, but I'll take the cover off first, just so I can get the tape around, because the one thing you do not want to do is turn that. It's very easy to do, just knock it. You don't want to turn that, because these can very easily break. And then literally you've got no steering angle. You're going to have to get a replacement. So yeah, always put some masking tape on there so you don't accidentally knock it out of place. Now on to the upper and lower cowling. Basically the top one just pries off. It's just got a couple of clips, and then the lower one you've got two T-Torx 20 just here, as you can see, and you've got one underneath. I've already undone the one underneath. I'm now just going to undo. So with the upper cowling cover, it has the lever gaiter. So what you need to do, basically this plastic trim, you've got one just here and one this side. These just pull off, there's metal clips. When you pull them two off, it then exposes two screws. So one either side. Then this literally just pulls off from these little squares just here. To get the squib and the stalks off, you've got two plugs, a yellow one and a black one. And then a 5mm hex or Allen key holding this on, which I've already undone, which is just there. So I'm going to start, now I've started doing this, I might as well carry on doing the driver's side. So this air vent just here, you need to remove this trim, which you can get your fingers on the side, pull it off, and then you've got an 8mm bolt just there. When you've removed that bolt, the air vent will just pull towards yourself. You don't have much, how can I explain? You can only pull it just a little bit, because there is a plug. It looks like each air vent on this car has a plug on it, so just remember you need to undo this plug. So I've just removed the lower trim piece. There's 3 bolts, 8mm, same as the rest of the stuff. I think this whole dash is going to be just 8mm bolts. So one on the side at the top here, where you can see here, and then 2 underneath. So this is just to show you where they are. That's normally where the OBD port is. It's just above it, either side, where that gold is, you can see. And then literally you've got 3 plugs to undo. One for the headlight switch. There's no point removing the headlight switch. When you pull it, you've got enough wire. You can probably see that harness, it splices off into 2. That's headlight switch. That's for that driver's air vent. And then the other 2 plugs, that's the OBD port, just needs to come out the housing. And if your car does have the footwell lighting, that one plug just there, which further at the back, you're not going to get that mixed up, because none of this will get removed when I remove the dash. And like we know, these two plugs I've just put up here, that is for the steering column, the squib and the stalks. So for the Audi multimedia unit, that some of the older Audis, like my A4, etc., they'll have like a little slot just here and just here for the radio keys. This doesn't. It literally just has one 8mm bolt just underneath. So I'm going to get that undone. Then I can pull that towards myself and then undo the plugs. I don't know how many is going to be on this one. We'll soon find out in a second, guys. That's that removed. Get your hands behind so you don't just rip off the front plastic fascia. Yeah, so once you've removed the two plugs underneath, which goes for the buttons, there is 3 buttons on this car, but only 2 plugs. You can then pull it towards yourself, and then you've got loads of wires on the back, which they're all color coded. So if you see blue, that'll be blue underneath. Then the pink's pink underneath, yellow. You get what I'm trying to say. You can't get these mixed up. And obviously these are on like a quad lock plug, so don't worry that you think, oh, there's a lot of wires there. They're all color coded, so you won't get mixed up when you're reassembling it. So how all the wires are placed on this, all the radio ones are on top. And if you remember rightly, on the bottom of that multimedia system, you have the parking button, traction control, and I think maybe stop start. They're in the lower parts with the clamp control. Now onto the centre vent, so I can then remove the screen. So this, you got a trim just here. Literally you just need a pry tool. I'll start with this corner first. Right, that one's done. And then you've got 2 8mm bolts just here. So when I pulled that out, you've got 3 plugs. You've got one this side, which is for the trip button to reset and the screen to close. I've just marked these up, and I've also taken some photos, just the directions where these wires are going. This side, you've got one which is for the air vent, and then the hazard button, which the hazard button does go underneath onto this little trim clip here. But these can be very tricky to get out. They're always tight. So I basically, how Audi do it, that will go on top of there. Then they use the harness tape to go around this trim clip. So I've just cut the harness tape, and I'll reapply some new one when I put it back together. I just don't want to break this area, you see. So now that's done, you can then get to the 2 T25 torque screws, one just here and one just here, to get the screen out. So you've got 3 plugs. When you remove those 2 screws, start pulling it towards yourself. You've got a white plug. You've got another plug. It's all one harness, so you're not going to get these mixed up. You've got another plug that looks like the same plugs as the air vents. That goes here, and this bigger black one goes just here. You don't touch this one. And I was just looking how this operates, because obviously the screen comes out and then pops up. But that's the motor, and it's string operated. But yeah, that's done. There's one more plug I need to undo, which is underneath. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. There's a plug here for the centre speaker, and that looks like it's going to be a pain to no, it's not. Well, I thought that was going to be a pain to locate after, but no. As you can see, that harness, hopefully you can see, guys, that was tucked in there. No, I just thought when reassembling the new dashboard, but no. Got one little plug there. I'll undo that, and then it's the top piece. Now onto the Speedo cluster. There's 4 8mm bolts on this one. 2 at the bottom, 1 in this corner, and 1 in this corner. Oh no. That then exposes 2 more bolts. So when you've undone those 4 bolts, that's just another trim. Remove that, and then you've got another 2 bolts at the bottom. To get this top piece off the dashboard, which is near the windscreen, I will wish you guys good luck, as it is a right old pain. I think it's the hardest part of doing this dashboard. Basically, there's an 8mm screw on the end, either side, so one either side, and then I'll just come out through the window. You then remove the trim that goes for the auto headlight sensor. When you remove the auto headlight sensor, there's then a bolt, a 5.5mm bolt. Trust me, there's hardly any space between the windscreen and the bolt itself. I've dropped one 5.5 or 5.5mm socket down there. I'm hoping I find that when I remove the dash, but like I said, I wish you guys good luck, because you need to be so careful, because you could damage your windscreen. That's what I was worried about. Just put a brand new windscreen in, and yeah, to be honest, I think it'll be easier having the windscreen out, just to get to that 5.5mm bolt. You can see the hole just there. But yeah, I've already removed it off camera. It's, how would you say if this was British TV? One I made earlier. But yeah, that's removed, so I can get to this top bolt just here for the dashboard. I've already moved the other one on the side. As we know, those two bolts behind the Speedo, and then it will be onto the passenger side. To remove the glove box, open the lid up, then you'll have 3 bolts at the top, one here in the middle and at the back, and then there's literally just 2 underneath. With the glove box removed, on this particular airbag there is 2 plugs, one here and one behind, which looks like when that airbag deploys, this one snaps off. It's not snapped off on the plug, but this is snapped off the airbag. So as I've always said, guys, use a little pick to lift this orange bit up, pulls towards yourself. It doesn't come all the way out. Just be careful, because these are known to break. Once you've done that, there is an 8mm bolt at the back at the top, and there will be an earth just here as well that bolts up to the airbag. From what I can see, that will be it, but we'll see, because I've always stated as well, don't just yank the dashboard out. Give it a slight pull and you'll be able to tell if there's any resistance anywhere where there could be a bolt. Do what you want to do. That's the dashboard now removed. I wouldn't say it was the easiest one I've ever done. It wasn't too bad. It was quite tight, to be honest. There was 2 screws. As I did say earlier, just give it a slight pull, and if you can feel some tolerance, stop and have a look if there's any remaining bolts, which there was 2. Same bolt, but either side. Basically, where the vent on the dashboard pushes onto this, if you can see, there's a screw that goes through here into the dash either side, but that was the 2 remaining bolts that was holding the dash in. But yeah, I also did find the 5.5mm socket. Luckily, basically it's not a hole down there, so literally that socket was just down there, luckily, because if not, I'd have had to remove all this just to find that socket. I'm now going to install the new dashboard, so 3, 2, 1. And there we have it. Dashboard's now all in. The centre console, the steering wheel with the airbag. The only things I need left to do is change the seat belts on the front. I have done the passenger side already off camera. I'll do the driver's on camera so it's not repetitive, and drop the headliner so I can do both curtain airbags. So because this is a saloon, I'm not going to take the headliner all the way out. I'm just going to drop it, basically rest it on top of the front headrests. You can do it with it in the car, but you're going to have to pull on the sides of the headliner. I don't want to do any creases in it. So, plus I can get better camera angles with it dropped down to show you guys how to do the curtain airbags. So on these Audi A6s, to change the front seat belts, you need to remove the trims for the B-post, so the upper and the lower. The upper one comes off first. There is no screws. So basically I didn't even take the door rubbers off this. Just got my fingers on the edge, pulled this side, then did this side, and then this will just pull downwards. You do need to be careful because there is a wire plugged in for this air vent, because the actual wheel to open and close the vent, it's illuminated, it has a light, so obviously there's a plug for that, just to give yourself a heads up. So with that upper piece removed from the B-post, you can see that wire I was telling you about. Unplug that, and then this will just pull down. So that wire is now unplugged, and then this will just pull downwards. If you can see these little prongs, plastic prongs at the top, that goes up into the body of the car. So this just pulls down, and then this lower piece, it's just literally trim clips. So slowly pull away at it, and it will come off. And as I was just saying, once you've removed that top B-post trim and pull it down, you can then get this one removed. Same again, it's trim clips. So if you see, you've got two here, two just down here, and then one either end. So that where it clips into the seal trim. With the B-post trims now removed, obviously straight away it exposes the top seatbelt bolt. These are an M10 multi-spline, but to get to the lower one, you need to remove the air duct. This is for that vent. So to remove that, you've got that plug I showed you what you have to undo. That's held in by three the fir tree style trim clips going along this duct, and then you've got three plastic trim screws, which are T30. One here, one at the top, and then one just down here. So once you remove those screws and this harness, this literally just lifts out, and then it then exposes the bolt at the bottom of the seat belt. All them are now removed, and literally that just lifts up. With all that now removed, you can then get to the lower M10 multi-spline bolt. Undo the top one, undo the bottom. I'm going to show you, before I start doing anything, I'm going to show you how to detach the seat belt from the seat. Once all those bolts are undone, I'm going to pull the seat belt mechanism base out of the car to then unplug the two wires, because you've not got good access with it being installed in the car. Right, to get the seatbelt off the seat, so normally this plastic trim is all the way at the bottom clipped on. So I'm going to give you some advice. If you're reusing your seatbelts, when I say reuse, you'll send them off to get reset. Basically, you've got two plastic prongs just here. Just be careful, these can very easily break. Do one side at a time, unclip it from this mechanism, this side and that side, and then this just lifts up. And then if you can see this black piece and then this silver clip, I haven't got the GoPro on me, it's just charged at the minute, so I'll try and show you the best way I can. All you got to do is get a flathead screwdriver, not any big one, medium size. Put it in the middle of these two and literally just twist. And I'll try and put the camera now so I can get a good angle. Hopefully this is a good camera angle with the phone. So as I was just showing you with that clip, put the screwdriver through, just twist the screwdriver. There's no I'm not putting any tolerance on this at all. Just slightly twist it, push it downwards, and that comes off. And to refit it, literally put it back on there. If you hear that clipped on, you just have to make sure that the silver metal mechanism is locked on to the circle bit of the seat. And literally, it is nice and easy. As you can see, no damage and removed very easy. So you just see me remove the seatbelt from the seat, and there was obviously those two bolts holding the seatbelt to the B-post. So the upper one just here and the lower one. So they're both M10 multi-spline, but Audi state, I always go by the workshop manuals for the torque specs. I get my workshop manuals from easymanuals.co.uk. They state if the airbags have deployed, you have to replace the bolts. So I've got the replacement bolts, and the torque spec for these are 45 Newton meters. There is no degrees, it's just a pure 45 Newton meters. So with that upper bolt out of the seatbelt, you can then pull the seatbelt down. There is one more screw. So the seatbelt normally goes through this silver bracket just here. You have to remove the T25 torque screw, pull this towards you, then the belt can come out, and then literally you can then put the seatbelt through the upper trim. That will then come out. So the only thing I've got left to do is pull out the seatbelt unit and just unplug the two airbag plugs. So I've now just pulled the seatbelt mechanism slightly out so I can get to the airbag plugs, because you need to get to that orange clip. That I always use. You can use a little tiny screwdriver in this area just here, or I always use a little pick. Just pulls out slightly. It doesn't come all the way, and then that will literally. I'll just do this a second. It is tight, that will then just pull out. There is another one this side, so I'm just going to quickly do that off camera. Just a little bit of advice, guys. If you're buying some seat belts on eBay, not from a company that refurbishes seat belts, but from a breaker, and you see this orange sticker, you can see some of the sticker just here. If you can see this hole, that just indicates the seat belt has blown, that it's activated, because the only two plugs on this is where my thumb is, this black one just here and at the top. But that indicates that basically when the airbags deploy, for some reason it blows a hole on this where the sticker is, and obviously releases the ball bearing. So just to save some time, it's happened to me in the past. I've not looked on eBay photos and received it. I thought, oh, I'll just try to fit it, just in case they have been reset and note an airbag light still. But yeah, it just saves time. So I've installed the seat belt. I'm not going to install any of the B-post trims yet, or this to the seat, because obviously this needs to go through the upper rim first, because I want to do the headliner next. So all I've got to do now, all the airbag plugs are all plugged in. That T25 torque screw is in. I've fitted the new upper and lower bolt. I'm just going to torque these up now to 45 Newton meters. Torque wrench is all set up now, so I'm just going to quickly get these bolts done up. Just doing the lower one now. Right, so now the headliner. So you basically need to remove all 4 grab handles, the sun visor, obviously all the lights. There's not much holding this on, so just going to pull that towards myself. I'm going to get a pick underneath this plastic clip. That'll then pull down, and then this, basically that releases that clip, as you can see just there. Right, with this one you need to remove the lower piece just here. I'm going to do the same again, getting behind, it's just getting onto it. Sometimes you got to do this side first. Right, that's just falling down. But yeah, once you've got that bit out, this then just, I'll try and show you 1 second. This then, you pull that out, turn this, and then pull that down. And then there's 1 plug to undo just here. Right, so with this light, all you need to do, on this edge just here, there's a metal spring clip. Get your pick, or you can also use a pry tool. Just press on that metal spring clip, and that will come out, pull towards yourself, and there's another plug you need to undo. So there's 2 plugs. The longer ones for this, the shorter ones for the sensor in the sun visor. And for this unit, with all the lights and the buttons, literally there's 1 T25 torque screw. If you press your sunglasses visor case, there's a screw just up the top just here. So if you undo that screw, the rest of the light will just pull down. If you can see now, because I've removed both sun visors, you can see it's loose now. And that will just carefully pull out. These ones you don't need to undo, that'll be the actual. So undo that one, undo this one. Basically the loom, you've got a 4th one just here as well. Where's my little pick gone? Press on the little metal. There's that one. And that's out now. Yeah, all these you ain't got to undo, you just got to undo the main plugs for that. Right, so now onto the grab handles. All 4 in the car, exactly the same how to remove. So what you need to do, grab the handle down and just keep it held down with 1 hand. So basically, you've got a plastic cover just here and just here. On top, you're not going to be able to see, but there is a tiny little hole which you can get a pick on. And literally just pull this plastic trim slightly towards yourself, only a little bit, because if you pull this all the way out, the metal clip will not come with the handle, it will stay in the body of the car, and honestly they're a nightmare to put back together. It's happened to me once before. Let me know guys in the comments, has that happened to you? Literally, you see I've just pulled it slightly, these will then pull out. Is this one enough? Yep. As you can see, the metal clips are still on there. So because I've got to drop the headliner now, these are not going back on just yet until I've put the headliner back on. Close them up. Then all this can't fall to bits. With the rear light, there is no screws. It's just literally metal trim clips, as you can see, on the side of the light. Well, both sides, shall I say. You can get your fingers in behind. You can use a trim tool, but you can get your fingers in, just gently pry both sides, and then you've just got one blue plug. So with the headliner dropped, I can now gain access to the curtain airbags nice and easily. Also, the clips on this one, so for example, I've done a few A4s, A5s, Q3s, etc. Not done curtain airbags on an A6. The actual workshop manual, I'll show you a photo just here. The actual clips, it actually says to use some strong side cutters. So it does state that the clips will get damaged when removing, and that's why Audi do sell the clips separate. This is what I have done. So I've got the replacement driver's curtain airbag. I've just done the passenger one off camera. As you can see, there is no retaining clips. Here's the part number if you need them. The 4G8898803. So a bag of those clips. I'm going to quickly get these fitted onto the curtain airbag, and then I'll fit it on camera. Oh, and like I said, I did what the Audi workshop manual said. So I got some side cutters on the side, squeezed it in, and then literally twisted it, and they pulled out all of them. So nice and easy, because on other Audis they can be an absolute pain. Honestly, you could spend an hour trying to mess around getting these out. So I was quite pleased. I'd rather pay £13 than waste an hour. Also, just to show you, so on the actual curtain airbag itself, there's a little cutout. So you push the retaining clip only one half, not both halves, into that little cutout, just like that. And then this will literally, trying to do this one-handed, guys, and that's it. I've just got to do that to the remaining ones and then get onto the car. There's literally just one T25 torque screw that you have to replace. It gets torqued up to 5 Newton meters, so it's not a lot at all. Just going to loosely place it in so I can start clipping the airbag in. So the battery's now connected. It's the first time now trying the ignition. I'm not going to attempt to start this. We know the car runs, but obviously I've got all the rad packs off. I don't want any coolant, if there is any further coolant in the engine, all over the floor. Oh, that's working. There is going to be a lot of fault codes because I've not even plugged this car in before, but you got to think I've got stuff disconnected as well. Parking brake, that's because it was unplugged, and you probably can see it is illuminated, so that's just telling me because there's no coolant. I have got a battery charger on the battery just to perform this diagnostics. It's going to say a lot of stuff because obviously no headlights are plugged in, etc. Car's not happy. So this is just going to connect. Just before we get on to the diagnostics part of the video, so clearing the fault codes on the airbag module, I just thought I'd let you guys know. So while I'm editing this video literally just now, I was looking through all my footage. I can't find the clip when I replaced the front crash sensors. Just to let you guys know, I did replace them. As you see, this car was squashed on the front. And another heads up, you will see other modules when I'm about to go on the diagnostics now, where I say I've clicked airbag. You will see other modules are in red, meaning they've got fault codes. We're only going through the airbag module in today's video. All the other codes we'll be doing in the following video. So I've clicked on airbag. I'm going to read what fault codes we've got. Front crash data stored. Quite a lot of fault codes, as you can see, so I'm going to clear. And there we go. No airbag light. And that's what I was saying to you guys. With this particular car, you do not need to change that SRS module. it will clear once you've what am I doing? I'll click read again. You can see the battery is quite low, but like I said, I have got a charger on just while I've got this Diagnostics on. So that's the interior all back together, and as you saw, no fault codes, and I've also cleaned it with my favourite leather cleaner, Heaven for Leather from Angel Wax. A brilliant product and a brilliant price. Yeah. So that's going to be an end for today's video. If you did get this far, I want to say thank you. I do understand it was a long video, but it's an in-depth video on how to do the dash. That's everything that's involved on doing an interior on one of these cars. And also, don't forget, guys, the competition. Write down the price, what you think it's going to cost for the total rebuild. And also, the next video on the car, we start building that front end back up. Did I manage to get some headlights for a good price? Because from Audi, they were over £2,000 plus VAT each. Because if not, that would have been a deal breaker. There's no money in this car. But if you did want a little teaser, go to my Instagram, Nathan_Hiley. You'll see a little teaser there. But if you did like today's video, smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed, guys, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get a notification when I do a new upload. I'll see you in part 4 on the Audi A6.